The night sky was quiet. Too quiet. Soldier Daniel Reed stood at the edge of the broken city, staring at the stars. The war had taken everything: his home, his brother, even his hope. But tonight, something felt strange. The wind carried a strange hum, a sound not from Earth. Suddenly, a red light appeared in the sky. It grew bigger, faster, brighter. A fireball shot down from the stars and crashed into the ground just a few miles away. The earth shook. A wave of heat hit Daniel's face. Was that a missile? One soldier asked. No, too fast, too controlled. Daniel said quietly. Without waiting, the team ran toward the crash site. Smoke filled the air. The trees were burning. The ground was black and broken. In the center of the crater, something was moving. Guns up. Someone shouted. Through the smoke, a tall figure rose from the fire. Not human, not machine. Something in between. Her skin was silver, like steel, but glowing blue lines moved across her body like veins of light. Her eyes opened. Bright, cold, glowing blue. She looked around confused, or maybe afraid. Target locked. Fire. Bullets flew. The creature didn't move. The bullets bounced off her body like they were paper. She didn't fight back. She just looked at them. Daniel didn't shoot. He watched her eyes. There was something in them: pain, sadness, a question. She dropped to her knees. One hand touched her chest, like she was remembering something. Then she collapsed. The soldiers circled. Her guns still raised. What is that thing? A weapon. Maybe alien tech. Should we kill it? Daniel stepped closer. Wait. They turned to him. What? She's not fighting. She's not attacking. She's a threat. Daniel knelt beside her. He saw something on her neck, writing, not in any known language, but it looked old, carved, not printed, like a warning or a name. He looked into her face. Even with the metal skin, she looked young. Not a monster, not a robot. Something in between. Then she opened her eyes again and stared right at him. Not angry, not violent, just tired. Medic, Daniel shouted. They dragged her to a military truck and locked her inside a cage made for war criminals. The base was confused. Everyone had questions. No one had answers. Daniel couldn't sleep that night. Her eyes kept haunting him. Was she really a monster? Or was she something else, something broken? In a lab under the base, scientists examined her body. They tried to take samples. They failed. Her body healed every wound. Her blood glowed blue. She's not from this planet, one said. She's a weapon, another said. She's dangerous. But Daniel disagreed. He watched from behind a glass window as the girl sat in her cage. She didn't eat. She didn't speak. She just stared at the walls, lost. Then one night, something strange happened. The power in the lab flickered. Lights dimmed, and the girl stood up, slowly. Her eyes glowed brighter than before. The scientists ran. Guards pointed guns, but she didn't move to fight. Instead, she walked to the glass and drew something on it with her finger, a symbol, a circle, with a broken heart inside it. Daniel stepped closer. She looked at him. Her lips moved. No sound. But Daniel could read it. Help me. The stars above Valaria shimmered like cold diamonds, but the world below was burning. Sarah stood at the edge of the crystal tower, her hands shaking. Behind her, the sky was full of war. Explosions flashed in the distance, lighting up the dark. Blue clouds. Valaria, once a peaceful planet full of light and music, was now a battlefield. The enemy was closing in. Every day, more cities fell, more families disappeared. She wasn't a soldier. She was a scientist, a mind built for discovery, not destruction. But now, all that remained of her peaceful life were the broken pieces of hope and the choice she never wanted to make. Footsteps echoed in the hallway behind her. The Chancellor of Defense entered, his silver robe torn at the shoulder. His voice as heavy as his eyes. "Sarah," he said. "It's time." Her breath caught in her throat. She turned slowly, as if hoping it was all a mistake. "No," she whispered. "There must be another way." "There isn't." His voice cracked. "You're the only one left who can survive." The fusion. She looked down at her hands, soft, steady. These hands had built healing machines, saved lives, and created peace devices for years. And now they wanted to turn her into something else. Something not human, not alien. Just power. I won't be me anymore, she said. The Chancellor didn't deny it. We know. But if Valaria falls, none of us will be. A pause, then silence. They had tried soldiers. They had tried machines. All had failed. The Empire invading them, the Voron, was unlike anything they had ever seen. Ruthless, advanced. They turned planets into dust. Valaria would be next, unless. Syrah agreed to become what they had secretly built in the shadows, the last weapon. The project had a name, Echo 9, a living hybrid, part flesh, part machine, powered by star energy, fueled by memory, designed to win wars by sacrificing everything. Inside, Syrah's father had once warned her, if we build monsters to stop monsters, we may become worse than them. Now, she had to choose, protect her people or protect her soul. That night, she walked into the fusion chamber alone. No guards, no words, just her and the machine. It was shaped like a cocoon, covered in glowing symbols, humming with energy pulled from dying stars. Once inside, she would never be the same. Her body would change. Her thoughts would mix with the machine's code. She might forget who she really was. The door slid open. She stepped inside. Darkness. Heat. Then pain, endless, spreading through every cell. She screamed once. Then everything went silent. Her memories came like flashes. Her mother's laughter, her favorite river, the boy she once loved, the flowers she planted, the first time she saw a star, the last time she saw her brother, the sound of home. They tried to leave her, but she held on. One voice repeated in her mind, her own voice, I will remember. I will remember. I will remember. The transformation took 13 hours. When the cocoon opened again, the room went cold. The scientists stepped back. The Chancellor fell silent. Syrah walked out. But she wasn't Syrah anymore, not on the outside. Her skin was silver blue, marked by living circuits. Her eyes glowed like twin stars. Her breath released tiny sparks. Her voice, when she spoke, was deeper, calm, controlled. But still her report, she said. Everyone stared. The girl who once cried during peace songs now looked like a goddess of war. They gave her the target, the Voron command ship, hidden near a blue planet far from their system. She was to destroy it alone. One-way mission. No return. She nodded. Send me. Hours later, a small capsule launched from Valaria's final port. Inside it, Syrah sat still, arms crossed, eyes closed. She felt strange, strong, but also empty. Her body obeyed her, but her heart, was it still hers? She whispered to herself. Don't forget. The ship crossed galaxies in silence. Near the planet Earth, something went wrong. A surprise hit. A Voron drone spotted her and fired. The ship was damaged. Syrah tried to stabilize, but it was too late. She locked the energy core, sealed her mind to avoid burning out, and braced for impact. Her last thought before blacking out, will they see me as a monster, or will they see me at all? She fell through Earth's sky like a burning comet. The humans would never be ready for what she truly was, and she wasn't sure she was ready either. The cell was cold, silent. Only the sound of the overhead lights flickering broke the stillness. She sat in the far corner, knees pulled to her chest, arms wrapped around her metallic legs. Her eyes were open but not focused. She didn't blink. She didn't speak. Not since they locked her inside. Daniel stood outside the reinforced glass, watching her. The others called her the thing, or the alien. Some said the weapon. But no one used the word girl. No one but him. He had seen enough war to know what monsters looked like. They screamed. They tore. They enjoyed it. She did in single quotes t. She just sat there, quiet, like she was waiting for something, or someone. Daniel pressed a hand to the glass. She didn't move. She's not responding to any commands, said the lab tech beside him. She doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, doesn't even react to pain. She reacts. Daniel said, you're just not looking closely. He had reviewed the footage from the crash site a dozen times. The way she looked at the soldiers, the hesitation, the hand over her chest, that wasn't programming. That wasn't war instinct. That was memory. He leaned closer. She's trying To remember who she is. The lab tech scoffed. She's a machine with skin. Nothing more. But Daniel wasn't convinced. Later that night, when the lab lights dimmed and most of the base slept, Daniel returned, alone. He stood again before the glass. This time, she turned her head. Slowly. Her eyes met his. He didn't move. Neither did she. Then she did something strange. She raised her hand, pressed her fingers gently against the glass. He hesitated, then did the same. The glass between them buzzed. A low hum, energy. His fingers tingled. Her eyes brightened for just a second, then faded. The next morning, something even stranger happened. A piece of paper was found in her cell, folded neat. On it, written in shaky English, "I remember stars." No one could explain how it got there. The room was sealed. She had no tools, no pen, no paper. But Daniel knew she was reaching out. That same day, the general gave the order, "Prepare her for dissection. We need to understand what powers her." Daniel stood up. "No, you'll kill her. She's a machine." "No," he said again, louder. "She's not." He was dismissed from the project, banned from the lab. That night, the power went out. Just for a few seconds. Long enough for the cameras to blink. Long enough for one door to unlock. Long enough for Daniel to step into her cell. He expected her to attack, to shout, to run. She didn't. She looked at him like she had been waiting. "Do you understand me?" he asked softly. She blinked once, then nodded. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. "But they will." She looked down. Her hand moved to her chest again. He noticed a soft glow underneath her skin, like something was alive inside her. He moved closer. "Do you remember your name?" A long silence. Then her lips moved, quiet, almost like a breath. "Sira." It was the first word she had spoken. Daniel felt his throat tighten. She was real. She was someone. "You were sent here, weren't you?" he asked. She looked past him, at the wall. Her voice was slow. "War. My world. Dying. Why you?" She didn't answer, just closed her eyes, as if the memories hurt too much. Daniel placed a hand gently on her shoulder. She didn't flinch. "I'll get you out," he said. "No," she whispered. "They'll find me. Then we'll run." "Where?" "Anywhere you're not treated like a weapon." She looked at him again. This time, there was something new in her eyes. Not fear, not confusion. Hope. He led her through the base using hidden tunnels. He had planned it all in secret. Maps, key cards, even a stolen cloak to cover her glow. As they moved through the dark halls, alarms started to flash. Someone knew. "We have to move faster," Daniel said. They reached the outside wall. He started to climb, helping her up. But halfway up, Sira froze. Her head jerked. Her eyes turned fully blue. She screamed soft, but sharp hand fell. Daniel caught her. "What's wrong?" She opened her mouth, and a voice came out. But it wasn't hers. "They're coming. From the sky. Not just for me. For all of you." Then she collapsed. Daniel stared at her, heart pounding. This wasn't just about her anymore. Something worse was coming. Something that made even a living weapon afraid. And they had no idea how much time was left. Rain tapped gently on the rooftop. But inside the abandoned building, everything was still. Sira lay on a cold mattress, eyes half closed, arms wrapped tightly around herself. She hadn't spoken since they escaped the base. Her breath came in. Short, shallow waves, each one like she was trying to hold something dark inside. Daniel paced nearby. The dim light from a broken window touched his face, revealing the worry in his eyes. He watched her silently, unsure of what to do, unsure of what she was becoming. She had warned him the night before, warned him they were coming. But she had also said something else, something he couldn't stop hearing in his head. "They turned me into this." Now he had questions, too many, but the first one mattered most. He knelt beside her. "Sira, I need you to tell me. What did they do to you?" At first, nothing, just silence. Then her lips moved, a whisper. "They broke me." Daniel waited. Let her speak on her own time. She sat up slowly. Her silver blue skin shimmered faintly in the dark. Her voice was soft, but steady now. "My people, Valaria, we didn't want war. We tried peace. They didn't listen." "Who?" Daniel asked. The Voron, they came like shadows, silent, quick. They stole our sun, poisoned our oceans. We begged them to stop. Her voice trembled. They smiled. Daniel swallowed. And your government built a weapon. They built me, she said. Or what's left of me. She held out her hand. A soft pulse glowed beneath her palm. This is not armor. It's not tech. It's alive. It listens to my thoughts, feeds on my fear, grows with my anger. Daniel stared. It feeds on fear. Yes. She closed her hand. The light faded. It gives me power, but takes little pieces of me each time I use it. Memories, feelings, my voice, who I used to be. He felt his chest tighten. You're losing yourself. Sira nodded. Slowly, Daniel looked away for a moment, then back at her. Why did you agree to it? She met his eyes. Because they asked me to save them, and I wanted to believe I still could. A silence passed between them, one filled with quiet understanding. Then, outside, the sound of thunder rolled. But it wasn't thunder. Daniel rushed to the window. In the sky, black shapes moved silent, sharp, and fast. No, Sira whispered, standing quickly. They found me. How? They can smell the energy. Her voice turned cold. They don't want me back. They want me destroyed. Daniel grabbed his bag. We need to move. Sira didn't respond. She stared out the window, her glow growing brighter. Her hands curled into fists. You're not ready to fight, he said. I don't have a choice. He stepped in front of her. Yes, you do. We run. We hide. We stay alive. No, she said, her voice deeper now. If they get close, I'll change. Daniel froze. Change into what? She looked at him, really looked, and in that moment, something flickered in her eyes. You haven't seen it yet, she said. What I become? He stared at her, unsure what she meant. Before he could ask, the building shook. A blast ripped through the east wall, and debris flew like knives. Daniel pulled Sira down. The roof cracked. A Voron drone hovered in the air, scanning. Its eyes were red, moving fast. Sira rose slowly. The blue lines on her body sparked violently. Her arms trembled. Her chest glowed. Don't, Daniel said. You'll lose more of yourself. But she didn't answer. The drone fired. She moved like light. A single step, and she was across the room, her hands slicing through the air. The drone exploded, bits of metal raining down. She fell to her knees, clutching her head. Daniel rushed over. Are you okay? She looked up. Her voice was shaking. I felt it. Something inside. Waking up. He grabbed her shoulders. You're not a monster. You haven't seen it, she said again. And then she did something unexpected. She reached for his hand, and her skin lit up where they touched. In that moment, Daniel saw her memory. Not just images, he felt them running through silver fields, laughing beside her brother, singing on the edge of the galaxy. Then the day the Voron came, her family hiding, her name being called for the project, her tears in the fusion chamber, the voice in her head saying, you must let go. He gasped, pulling his hand back. How did you do that? I don't know, she whispered. You're the first one who didn't see only the shell. Daniel stared at her. She was breaking, but still fighting. She wasn't what the others thought. Not just a weapon. She was still trying to be someone. We'll find a way, he said. To keep you whole. To fight without losing more. Sira looked at the stars through the broken ceiling. I hope there's still time, she said. Because they're not done. The Voron aren't here for war. Then what? She turned to him. They're here to harvest Earth, and for the first time since her crash, she looked afraid. The morning didn't feel like morning. The sky was the same dull gray, the air heavy with a silence that didn't belong. It was the kind of silence that came before something terrible. Daniel sat at the edge of the rooftop, scanning the horizon through his scope. Cities weren't supposed to be this quiet. No cars, no sirens, no birds, nothing. They're not just watching anymore, he said softly. They're moving. Behind him, Sira sat cross-legged on the floor, wires from a stolen satellite. Radio wrapped around her fingers. Her skin was dimmer now, her glow faint like the last flicker of a dying flame. They've spread across for continents already, she said. Silently, underground, no full strikes yet. Just collecting. Daniel looked back. Collecting what? She didn't look up. Life, water, oxygen, information. Earth isn't a battlefield to them, it's a resource. So we're not fighting a war. No, she replied. You're being farmed. The words hit him like a punch. He had spent years preparing for war training, fighting, losing people. But not once had he thought Earth could already be lost. He stood and moved closer. There has to be a way to stop it. Syrah's fingers froze over the radio. There might be. He waited. She finally looked up, eyes locked on his. The core inside me, it wasn't just made to destroy. It holds data maps, blueprints, defense codes, everything Valaria gathered about the Vorin during the first invasion. You mean, you have their weakness? I did, she said. But the more I fight, the more I lose pieces of myself. I'm forgetting things. That information could already be gone. Daniel knelt beside her. We'll get it back. You don't understand, she said. The fusion inside me, it's a living system. It reacts to fear, anger, pain. If I fight too long, it takes over. I become something else. Something even I can't stop. A pause. I've seen it. She whispered. In a mirror. Just once. I didn't recognize my own face. Daniel put a hand on her shoulder. Then we make sure you never get pushed that far again. She stared at him. But what if I already am? The radio cracked. A voice came through, broken by static. Repeat. Unidentified ships in orbit, cities on lockdown, communication lines severed. Then silence. Syrah stood. Her body lit up brighter than it had in days. They're making the first move. Daniel checked his gear. What do we do? She took a breath. There's an uplink station in the northern mountains. If I can reach it, I might be able to recover the memory core. It's the last copy of Valaria's countercode. That sounds like a plan. But there's a problem, she said. I wasn't the only one built with fusion tech. I wasn't the first. Daniel froze. There are others like you. She nodded. Prototype units. Failed ones. The Vorin recovered them and twisted them. Twisted how? They don't remember who they are anymore. They don't think. They hunt. A chill moved through Daniel's spine. They'll be waiting at the station, Syrah added, because they know I'm coming. He strapped his weapon. Then let's not keep them waiting. The journey to the mountains took hours. The world had changed. Cities were hollow, roads broken, the sky watched by invisible eyes. Drones patrolled the clouds, silent and blind to the ordinary, but drawn to her like iron to a magnet. They kept moving, hiding when they had to. But with each mile, Syrah grew quieter. Not tired, he could see it was something else. She was listening to the thing inside her. By the time they reached the station, night had fallen. The mountain air was thin and cold, sharp against their skin. The facility stood like a skeleton on the hill towers, broken, wires dangling like vines. Doors open wide as if waiting. Daniel raised his gun. This feels like a trap. It is, she said, but it's also our only chance. They stepped inside. It was dark, but not empty. A low hum echoed through the walls, and then movement. A figure stepped out of the shadows, tall, shimmering, like Syrah but twisted. Its face had no expression. Its eyes burned gold instead of blue. Another followed. Then another. Daniel counted 3. Friends of yours? He asked. They used to be, she replied. The lead prototype stepped forward. Target acquired, it said, voice flat. Soulless, return the data, or be destroyed. Syrah stepped in front of Daniel. I'm not giving you anything. The others moved. Like lightning. The battle wasn't like anything Daniel had ever seen. Syrah didn't fight with rage or strength. She moved with precision, like a memory playing itself. Each strike was a mix of dance and survival. But the prototypes were faster, crueler, and every time she hit one, she flinched like it hurt her. Daniel tried to help, fired shots, threw a blade, but they weren't interested in him, only her. Finally, she shouted, Daniel, get to the console. He ran, reached the terminal. Sparks flew as he typed blindly, following her voice. Find the core. Upload the countercode. She screamed. Behind him, metal clashed, and something roared, not Syrah. He turned, and for just a second, he saw her. Not the girl, not the fighter, the monster. Her form was shifting, growing, her glow turning white hot, her face warped by power. She was winning, but not as herself. Daniel hit the final key. "Sira, it's done. We got the data." She froze mid-strike. The light inside her blinked, like a pulse slowing down. Then she dropped to her knees. The prototypes powered down. Lifeless. Daniel rushed to her side. Her skin was dim again. Her eyes closed. "Are you still in there?" he asked. Her voice was faint. "Barely." The sky burned. Not with sunlight, but with war, high above Earth. Strange ships shimmered in and out of visibility, bladed shadows against a crimson backdrop. They didn't roar like human machines. They whispered, glided, hummed, quiet, and deadly. Below them, cities flickered like dying embers, communications failed, and satellites dropped from orbit like falling stars. In a bunker hidden beneath a shattered research facility, Daniel stood over the central terminal, sweat dripping. Down his temple, his fingers flew across cracked keys. Data streamed across the screen, Valarian symbols, countercodes, warnings. Behind him, Sira sat slumped against the wall, her breath shallow, her skin dull. The glow inside her chest flickered weakly. "You did it," she whispered. "You unlocked the key." Daniel turned. "It's all here. A full network disrupt code, targeting Voron mothership signals. It can blind their fleet." Sira tried to smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. "You'll need to transmit it from orbit. The pulse can't penetrate atmosphere from down here." "So how do we get up there?" he asked. Her answer was silence. But in her silence, Daniel understood. "No way," he said. "You can barely stand. You've lost too much." Sira looked at him, not with fear, but with acceptance. "I was never meant to survive this. I don't care what they built you for." He snapped. "You're not a weapon anymore." She closed her eyes. "Then don't let them win." Daniel knelt beside her, gritting his teeth. "There has to be another way. A drone, a satellite." "There isn't." Her voice was quiet, but certain. "But you can guide me." He stared at her. In her face, he saw two things at war: the fire that made her a weapon, and the heart that never wanted to be one. An hour later, the world above them shook. The Voron fleet began its final phase. Dozens of pods landed in unguarded regions, planting energy anchors into Earth's crust. They weren't attacking the population. They were preparing to lift entire landmasses. Earth wasn't just under siege, it was being mined. Daniel and Sira moved quickly. They stole an old atmospheric cruiser from an abandoned military site. Most of its systems were dead, but Sira breathed energy into its core. Her touch alone brought it to life. As they took off, the ground cracked behind them. In the air, Voron patrol ships circled like vultures. Sira piloted with her eyes half closed, guiding the ship as if she could feel gravity shifting around her. Daniel watched the radar. Dozens of red dots closed in. "They're onto us." Sira didn't blink. "Let them come." And they did. A black storm of ships surrounded them. The cruiser shook violently. Alarms blared. Sira placed her hand on the control console. "I can burn brighter, just for a moment, but I'll lose more of myself." Daniel gripped her arm. "Don't do it. You've come too far. If we don't make it into orbit, none of this matters." She stood, walked to the bay doors, and opened them. Wind screamed inside the ship, but Sira was calm. She stepped out into open sky, floating, rising. Her body began to glow. Daniel watched in awe. The light around her grew so bright it hurt to look at her. Her shape shifted, blurred, became something vast. She raised her arms. A pulse of energy exploded outward. Every Voron ship in range froze, then dropped, powerless, silent. The cruiser pushed through the last barrier and entered the edge of space. Daniel dragged her back inside. Her body was almost weightless in his arms. Her skin dimmed with every breath. She looked at him. "Upload the code." Now, he carried her to the uplink module and connected her directly to it. The ship's systems recognized her instantly. The countercode began to transmit. Far above, the Voron motherships blinked. Their black hulls shimmered. Their weapons systems sparked. One by one, they began to lose orbit. Engines shut down. Signals dropped. It worked. Daniel turned to her. "We did it." But she didn't move. He leaned in. Sira, her eyes were half closed. A soft light still glowed in her chest. "I can't feel it anymore," she said. "The part that was mine." Daniel held her hand. You're still. Here, no, she whispered. I burned too bright. There's nothing left to hold it together. Fight it, he said. You fought everything else. I'm tired of fighting. He closed his eyes, then leaned his forehead against hers. You saved a world. Her lips trembled. Did they ever see me? The real me? I did, Daniel said. I still do. The light inside her faded. But something else remained. Not power. Not weaponry. Just a stillness. Outside. The Voran fleet crumbled. Earth was safe for now. The ship drifted in quiet orbit, carrying the girl who gave everything, and the man who saw the soul inside the shell, and somewhere, in a place where stars begin, a spark of blue light stirred again. The ocean was still. Waves touched the edge of the broken coastline with the gentleness of a world that didn't know it had almost ended. Above, the sky was clear to clear, no ships, no satellites, just silence. A small boy stood alone on the shore, holding a rusted toy plane. His eyes were fixed on the sky. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He was waiting. Behind him, the rebuilding had already begun. Cities once dark were flickering back to life. People returned from bunkers, blinking in the light like they'd forgotten how it felt. The war, if it could be called that, had ended in a way no one understood. The enemy had vanished. No demands, no surrender, just a silence. And above them, orbiting far beyond sight, was a dead ship with a name no one knew, carrying a story no one would ever believe, except one. Daniel stood in the command room of what was left of the Uplink vessel, staring out the viewport. The earth below was whole again, alive, but he couldn't smile, not yet. In the center of the room lay the shell of what she used to be. Sira. She hadn't moved since the code was sent. Her body, once glowing with impossible energy, was now cool and still, not broken, not destroyed, just quiet, as if she was waiting too. Daniel hadn't spoken in hours. There was nothing left to say. He sat beside her, his hand on the floor, inches from hers. You saved them, he finally whispered. They'll never know it, but I will. He closed his eyes and let the silence wrap around him. But then, something. Changeda pulse, so faint he thought he imagined it. A flicker of light from the very center of her chest. Then another, rhythm. Her fingers twitched. Sira. He leaned in. She gasped, not loud. Just a single, sharp breath like someone rising from deep water. Daniel caught her before she could fall. Hey, I'm here. You're okay. She blinked, slowly. Her voice was barely audible. Is it over? He nodded. We're safe. She looked out the window. Earth are still turning. He smiled softly. Told you we'd make it. I didn't, she said. I thought I'd disappear, but you didn't. He squeezed her hand. You stayed. Her expression flickered between awe and disbelief. I still feel like me. Then hold on to that. She turned to him. What happens now, Daniel? Helped her sit up, even though her limbs still trembled. Whatever you want. She shook her head. I can't go back. I can't be who I was, then be someone new. A long silence followed. Then she said, someone once told me I wasn't just a weapon. He smiled. Sounds like a smart person. He was annoying, always asking questions. She leaned, her head on his shoulder. But he saw me, and I think that saved me more than the world did. They stayed like that for a while, to survivors from two different worlds. Neither of them the same as when they began, but both still here, later. They brought the ship down, quietly, in the middle of nowhere. No cameras, no headlines, just the soft landing of something important. Sira stepped out first. The wind hit her face and she smiled. She had forgotten what Earth's air tasted like. A small group waited nearby, not soldiers, not scientists, just people, the few Daniel trusted. People who had lost and wanted to help build again. That no one asked who she was. They just nodded. One woman placed a blanket over her shoulders. Another handed her water. A child peeked from behind a leg and whispered, Are you an angel? Sira knelt and smiled gently. No, but I think I met one. The child didn't understand, but he smiled anyway. That night, round a small fire, Daniel told the truth. Not everything, just enough. He spoke of a girl who wasn't human, and yet more human than most. A girl who carried the power to destroy, but chose to save. who gave up everything. To protect strangers, Syrah said nothing. She just listened, her eyes reflecting the flames, and when he finished, there was silence. But this time, it was peaceful. Days passed. The world turned. The stars above seemed closer now, as if something had changed in their light. And on a quiet morning, the boy with the toy plane stood again on the shore. He pointed to the sky. A new light moved overhead, soft, steady, blue. He smiled. "She's real," he whispered. And somewhere, far beyond the clouds, Syrah looked down. No longer a weapon, no longer a ghost, just herself, finally.